Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. As you know, 1 Million by 1 Million aims to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. And our entire justification for existence is to support your endeavors to become successful entrepreneurs. So that's why we are here. That's why we've been here consistently for 220 sessions, and this is our 221st session. So it's a real pleasure to have the privilege of working with so many entrepreneurs from so many different parts of the world, and we are thrilled to be able to provide this service to you. And you will have the recording of the event available after the call, and that would be on both our blog as well as on our YouTube channel. If you're following us on Twitter, please use @1M by 1M or @Sramana. Either or is fine. And if you're live tweeting the show today, use #1M1M. The YouTube channel that we use is 1M1M Roundtables. You'll find recordings of all prior roundtables there. These are the teleconference call-in instructions. I don't know if you're going to have time today for call-in because we already have several presenters scheduled, but if there is time, I will put this up, and then we'll do open Q&A. We'll start with Arjuman Amjad from Bangalore. Arjuman, if you could unmute your line and tell us what you're working on, that would be great.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So just to give you a quick background, I've been in the startup space since 2011, and also about myself, I am based in Bangalore, and as I already mentioned, this is my second pitch, and I'm really honored to be here. And so yeah, to give you a quick background, since 2011, it's been over 2 years now that I've been in the startup space, and I've been living and working with some of the smartest people in the Indian startup ecosystem. So during my journey, I've been observing a lot of activities where global organizations are interested in engaging with Indian startups at different levels. And also some of the best startups are applying to global accelerators, incubators, and venture funds. So I've been noticing that there is been an increasing interest in the Indian startup community, and more importantly, large organizations who are looking at directly engaging with startups. So that caught my attention, and when I spoke to some senior folks in these companies, I realized that in spite of their initiatives to reach out to their startups, they're still finding it challenging to build quality deal flow for their innovation initiatives. So yeah, to talk about more about Atronics Network, that is the reason, since we have validated that big enterprises are facing challenges in sourcing quality deal flow, we decided to build a curated network of Indian entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and investors with a reach of over 15,000 members in the Indian startup ecosystem. And the people involved in Atronics Network have proven track record in startup sourcing, deal closure, and also building global partnerships. And the network also includes industry experts in various industries such as retail, education, financial services, and clean technology and investments. And also we have a few select connections with angel groups and venture funds, mentoring networks. So that's a brief about what is Atronics Network and what we do, right? So we'll cover that in the next slide. So we basically help organizations source disruptive innovation faster and cheaper than their best record. Yeah, period. And how do we do it? It's basically 3 core activities, which is basically connecting and engaging top-notch startups from our network. And then we also co-create events and build programs, custom programs to build quality deal flow for organizations. And finally, we build partnerships with the global entrepreneur support organizations, because this is what we do best. Though we started there only this month, we've been doing this over the last couple of years. And in the next slide, we're going to cover who are the top 2 customer segments we are looking at. Is basically the first one is corporate accelerators and incubators. But this would also include corporates who are looking at building up accelerators and incubators in the coming future, or if they are looking at engaging with startups at various levels. And the second segment we are targeting is startups, highly successful startups who are looking at engaging with new technologies by founders. And this slide is going to quickly cover on who started Apron's network. Basically, it is two founding partners, but we've got an extended network who's got a reach of around 15,000 people. So just to give you a quick background about the founders, Abdul Ahad has over 9 years of corporate experience, and I've been working in the startup space for almost 4 years now, and this has been some validation on what we are trying to build. So you see the increasing interest where Target, PayPal, and Coca-Cola accelerators are set up in India, and also Citrix accelerator is coming up in 2014. And these are a few other validation points where corporates are looking at engaging with startups.
So this is not validation for what you are offering, right? What validation do you have for what you are offering, and what are people willing to pay for?
Yes.
Are people doing this? Is Coca-Cola willing to pay you for helping you do what you're proposing to do?
Yes. Yes. So in fact, I've spoken to 3 large companies right now, and since this is 1 month, this is the only month we've launched the company, we've also sent a proposal to one of the top corporates. So they are willing to pay the consulting fee. And also, we could also explore probably a percentage on the entire deal after it is executed.
I don't think you will get it. So basically, if I get it right, you're trying to sell consulting to these corporations to set up accelerators in India and source deals.
Yes, so the niche offering is only sourcing deals. But if they need help in even setting up accelerators, we could look into that as well. But for now, we are only going to help them source quality deals based on their investment team. So that is our core offering. And so these are a few customer acquisition strategies to begin with. First and foremost, we have our own network connections, which we need to start exploring. And then finally, we're going to look at partnering with global networks. And in India, it's NASSCOM. And also, we can target global corporate training networks. And finally, we would like to publish.
Why would a corporation partner with you and not with NASSCOM? If you are going to partner with NASSCOM to do what you want to do, why wouldn't a corporation directly partner with NASSCOM, or for instance with people like us who already have networks? Why would they pay you?
So NASSCOM is one channel for you to go for. Right now there are no defined networks to
there are many.
The startup.
There are many channels. TIE, there are so many.
Yeah, but then we also have a partner of city partners across India, right? So we are looking at different channels, out of which one is NASSCOM or TIE or NEN for that matter.
I'm not excited about this business.
Sorry?
I'm not excited about this business. Somebody is echoing.
Yes, your voice is echoing. Sorry.
Maureen? Okay, that seems to have gone away.
Yeah.
So it's not clear to me that you have a value proposition that is going to work, because there are too many alternatives that are, that are already flowing in the market. I don't think this is going to work. Arjuman, are you still around? Okay, well, she seems to have dropped off.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you hear what I said?
No. So I just reconnected.
Okay, so what I said is I am not excited about the business proposition that you're coming up with here, because there are plenty of alternatives to do what you're proposing to do without paying, the level of consulting fees that you would want to charge to be able to make a business out of this. I mean, you can possibly build something very small, but you're not going to be able to do something big here. There are too many alternatives are, in the market already, with much bigger, much more comprehensive networks than what it will take you to build this.
But also, when I was doing, one more thing I just wanted to share is when I was talking to the executives from these companies, they were saying they were not satisfied with the quality of deal flow in spite of these existing networks. So we were thinking of building a city partner network which have already started, and the kind of deals which we have already shared in the first meeting, they were pretty excited about that.
There's a reason for that. Why they're not getting the right deal flow, there's a reason for that. Somebody who is doing a technology company has no basis, no reason to go work at a Target accelerator or a Coca-Cola accelerator. They don't bring anything to the table.
How about if they could leverage the distribution network?
Real estate, they don't bring anything to the table.
So I was thinking the corporates could help them in building their distribution networks and scaling up.
No, you're not going to be able to because their core value proposition is broken. So you cannot fix something that is broken just by building a network.
Okay.
No, good entrepreneurs do not want to work at a Coca-Cola accelerator. There's no reason for them to go work at a Coca-Cola accelerator.
Is it only with the corporate accelerators, or is it the same with private accelerators as well?
A lot of private accelerators have bogus, they have nothing to offer. In India is full of bogus accelerators. So if your value proposition is predicated on trying to get good deals into bad accelerators, you're going to fail. By definition, you're going to fail.
All right.
Okay. Right. We're going to move on.
I just wanted to. No, the last question I had was, what kind of tools do you use for tracking startups?
I'm not going to discuss that. Okay, Darius, you're up next. Thank you, Arjuman.
Yes,
please go on mute.
Good
Darius,
morning.
your line.
Yes, I'm here, and I'm Darius Allen, the CEO of CRBT, and we are working on a smartphone project. It's called the SAM smartphone. It's the first to market, fully functional, dual screen mobile phone. There's a fully functional screen on the front and also a fully functional screen on the back. We're based out of Dallas, Texas. So currently right now, your smartphone is really not smart enough. It has a lot of processing power, right? But it doesn't really allow you to maximize the processing power that your phone has. So you can't really multitask with your current phone right now, right? And existing technology has far exceeded what your manufacturer has been released to you. So they're going to give you linear integration. And in our smartphone, the SIAM, we're giving you technology that's exponentially better than what's available on the market. You see right now, new smartphones come out, you may get a bigger screen or a little bit more megapixel in your camera, a little small feature here and there in your firmware, okay? We're actually going to give you 2 fully functional dual screens, completely waterproof. Our screens are going to be very, very, very break and scratch resistant. So it's going to be very hard to actually break and shatter your screen. Right now, the network operators, they're giving you a little bit of technology at a time because they want to make the most amount of profit as possible, okay? So right now, there's over 1 billion smartphones sold last year in 2013, okay? And if we sell a few hundred phones here in the U.S. market, we're looking at hundreds of $1 million in profit, not just revenue, but profit. So we're not saying that first year, year 2, year 5, that we're going to be bigger than Apple or Samsung or even be as big as ZTE or Huawei, okay? But just at a fraction of a percentage of the market space, we can sell a few $100,000 units. And that's actually what was a quote from one of the executives at Samsung that actually rolled out that Galaxy S7. So several new players have made significant volume contributions, such as ZTE, Huawei, or even Blue. So they've sold millions of phones and really have tapped very little into the market share, okay? Next slide. Okay. All right, the big mobile industry right now is continuing to change, right? And whose products offer and do they reflect the feature, the value? So right now, the giant network operators control the market. And recently, I sat down with the CEO myself, Randall Stevenson of AT&T, okay? And he agreed to carry our phone, okay? We have testing things to go over and a few other issues with our working sample, but we have an avenue for distribution, okay? And their first order will be over 200,000 units. Go ahead, next slide.
Yes. So what is the point of a dual screen smartphone? Who wants a dual screen phone? What is the killer app for that or segment?
Right, so it will change your whole user experience, right? You go into the office and a lot of people have dual screens, or your computer allows you to multitask. If I'm on my GPS right now and I get an incoming call, it's going to minimize my GPS and for the incoming call. So with our phone, the GPS will just flip to the back screen, okay? You can take a high-definition selfie. So you can take the whole full 16-megapixel selfie with the flash and see yourself, all right? The whole firmware built around the dual screen is going to change your whole user experience. So if I'm in India and I don't speak your native language, I can speak English to it and read off your language in the back, correct? So now I can do a live translation and speak to my phone and read off the language in the back. Not only that, it just allows you to do multiple things at one time without actually exiting out of what you're doing.
Proposing that a dual screen phone is going to enable better multitasking. That's your value. That's your core value proposition.
Correct.
Okay. Now, how are you bringing this to market? Bringing a smartphone to market is a capital-intensive affair. How are you going to bring this to market?
Yes, very, very. So what we did initially, we partnered with one of the biggest celebrities in the world, okay? The rapper 50 Cent in SMS Audio. 50 Cent sold over 25, 30 million albums, okay? And he's was involved in the Vitamin Water Project and sold that to Coca-Cola for $400 million. So we're partnering with 50 Cent, the rapper, to be the brand, the face of our phone.
That is not my question. My question is, how do you bring this to market? Where is the capital coming from? This is a very capital-intensive affair.
Right now, out of my own pocket, I invested thus far about $1.2 million out of my own pocket. Okay.
This is not a $1.2 million affair. Bringing a smartphone.
Of course. So bringing this to market is working with AT&T or any other network operator for distribution. Okay. And at that point, we'll have to just get enough funds to actually manufacture the phones and going through that distribution channel. So advertising for exclusive rights on AT&T, that's one of the deals that we're discussing with them right now. In exchange for exclusivity on their network, we're requesting advertising dollars. The same what they're doing with Amazon right now, and same thing that they've done with the iPhone in the past. So in exchange for exclusivity, we're actually requesting advertising. So in addition to that, we have the big brand face to roll out with it.
I don't see a strategy here. So what is your question?
So our strategy, if you see the plan, let's say if AT&T say no, okay, and we're not on their network, we're going to go straight direct to the consumer, set up more kiosks, and sell direct to the consumer, demo the product to the consumer, and show them that it's 10 times better than the existing phone, twice as fast, twice as processing speed, and sell direct.
So what you're saying is you want to do a deal with AT&T for a couple of 100,000 units, and AT&T is going to market it and advertise and sell it through their channel. That's what you're proposing.
Yes. Oh, and I got pictures with the CEO of AT&T. I met with him a couple weeks ago.
Okay, it's a big if. If you can pull it off, great.
Well, if not, we do have a contingency plan. Even if we sell direct, we can still sell a couple 100,000 units, okay? And that is still almost $100 million in profit for our company. So if I sell 3 phones a day in 20 units in 20 markets, that's just here in the U.S. That's not international sales.
That's not if. How do you? If the if is not interesting, how is interesting?
How are we going to do it?
If it's pipe dream, how is strategy?
How is strategy? Right, I got you. Okay, So we got influencers. So we're going to market through his 50 million followers on Twitter, Facebook. I have access to another Ricky Smiley, 2 million followers, and we're going to use YouTube advertising, which is very direct and effective to get the word out.
About things that cost a lot of money. Do you have the capital to do something like this?
Yes, I have almost $10 million myself. So we're raising additional capital for marketing. But if I do, I can get over 30 million impressions on YouTube at roughly $1 million.
Darius, what is your question?
Yes. I guess my question is actually, I mean, I don't have a question. You can actually another question. You're saying to me that my marketing rollout strategy is not good enough, correct?
No, absolutely not. It's completely inadequate.
So me working with AT&T is not good enough, or?
Well, if you can pull off the AT&T deal, that's great, but there is no evidence that you can pull off the AT&T deal, and there is absolutely going to be no funding available to complete anything until you show a compelling go-to-market strategy. So if you can convince AT&T to do a deal with you, then you can even think about getting any funding. So it's not after getting seed funding that you're going to get AT&T to do a deal with you. You're going to have to get AT&T to do a deal before you can get funding.
So going directly, selling direct to the consumer with our locations, and you don't think that strategy will work, selling direct?
We don't think that strategy will work, and no investor will buy that strategy.
What's that?
All right.
No.
That's coffee. Okay, Darius, if you could please mute your line. Thank you for the presentation. We're going to move to Ursula.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Ursula, where are you dialing from?
Thank you. Sorry, my English is not that good as yours, but I will make my best. I'm calling from Spain. I'm together with Lawrence King, who is next to me right now, is my partner.
Hello, hi.
All right, where in Spain?
Madrid. We are in Madrid right now.
Super. All right, tell us what you're doing.
So we are a small law firm, international law firm specialized in business law, and we give support to startups and SMEs, small and medium enterprises. We are international because we were born international, but we've been working for big corporations like 15 years each and a few years independent. And coming from big corporations, we have the skills and the experience that we developed in that world, and we want to give access to this knowledge and skills to the small and medium companies that cannot afford deals coming from Clifford Chance or Baker McKenzie or Linklaters, big corporate firms. However, these startups and small medium firms want to go international and want to have a quality, top quality legal service.
Your background is working for legal departments of large corporations.
So myself, I've been working for big corporations in telecommunications arena. I've been working for Vodafone. You might know also Verizon. I've been working also for Millicom, which is Pico.
And you're working in the legal departments of these companies.
Yes, and Lawrence has been working for two of the top 4, which is KPMG and Pricewaterhouse.
Okay.
And his specialization is international fiscal law, and my specialization is business, corporate and contractual business law. So
okay.
We put together both areas. And we keep, of course, learning in the areas, because lawyers, we never stop learning. So our big advantage is that Lawrence is registered at the Bar Association in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil, and I am registered at the bar in Madrid. and we can both together be the, and this is what we want. We want to be the reference law firm to any kind of business between Brazil and Spain, and in extension Europe and Latin America, but mainly focused on small and medium enterprises and especially startups, because we both understand the technology and finance very well, or quite well, to be lawyers. That's
what do
why.
You know of startup law, startup requirements, legal requirements of startups?
Can you read again, please?
Where is the expertise of startup law coming from? You want to work with startups. Startups are not, startup law and big corporation law are very different, and startups don't have any money to pay. So, you know, it's not the best place for lawyers to, you know, make a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. It's not our objective to make a lot of money. It's to enjoy the what we do. Startups that cannot pay money can give us shares in their companies, and we will be very happy to share the grow if they grow, and if they grow.
How are you going to pay all the salaries? You have a team of lawyers, and you're going to have to pay their salaries. How are you, if all you get paid is in equity, how are you going to pay the salaries?
Well, if we get income from the customers, we will share that. So what we don't have is a fixed structure with lawyers. Is what we do is we work with collaborators. So any work comes in, and then we talk to collaborators, and then they bill us, or we pay them. But
these collaborators are also willing to work for equity and not for cash?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need to make any cash. You want to work. You're okay with working on equity on with small companies, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yes. Although many companies might be okay with paying cash instead of equity, so we are open to both options, depending, of course, on.
So what is your question? Let's go to your question.
So my question, so I have a couple of questions to you. As you are an expert in startups, is what you think startups need from legal service provider? That's the first question. Second question is, what do you dislike of law firms, and you would suggest us to avoid?
You know, what startups need is extremely low cost, you know, basic services like incorporation, and if they're doing international incorporation, sometimes people start in one country and they have to move to another country and switch the whole ownership structure, IP ownership and stuff like that. They need a bit of help with contract law. They need some help with shareholder agreements, but these are fairly standard things. So I think, you know, you should basically go talk to a bunch of startups who are looking for legal support and gather your specs from them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And the second question, what do you dislike about legal firms?
About what?
Legal firms, law firms.
About law firms? They charge too much.
That approach startups. What do you think that it's the wrong strategy for a law firm that approaches a startup? What do you think that it's the wrong
law
thing to
firms
do?
charge a lot, and most startups cannot afford to hire them.
Okay, so it's not financial. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
If you have a compelling value proposition, if you actually do have the ability to cater to customers and take equity, startups would be interested in working with you. However, the problem here I see is that how are you going to make a business out of it? Because most startups fail. So you're going to have equity in a whole bunch of startups that are going to fail. And from your business point of view, it does not sound like a very good business strategy. I would not do it. If I were doing your business, I would not take equity in all these startups.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we can make a filter and take equity in some of them. And
you will not be able to filter. Then you'll have to become venture capitalists, which you're not.
Yeah.
That's a really bad business. If you're spending years of your life taking equity in a bunch of companies that are going to fail, that's useless. That's a bogus business.
Yeah. It's probably a lot of fun, but a lot of pain also. Yes, okay, thank you.
Well, thank you for your presentation. We have one more person, Mitali Saxena.
Hi, Sramana. How are you?
All right. Go ahead.
So my name is Mitali Saxena. I'm from Miami. I recently launched a platform called Fashion. It's a social platform for sharing photos and videos. It's available on the web and iOS and Android, so it's on apps too. The links for our social platforms for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are listed over there, but you can also go to the website fashion.com. So the reason why we're doing it, let me just begin with the reason why I started, is because I was looking for real people styles around the world when I was traveling, and I couldn't find what people were wearing in other parts of the country or the world. Most of the things that I could see was high-end bloggers or designers. It was photoshopped images. It was perfect-looking women. I'm just talking about from my perspective, not from the guys, obviously. And then I started researching into what's available for people to see in fashion. And there's a trend that's going on right now saying that what people, style is considered what you are, not from what people tell you to wear. So that's the reason we started Fashion, because I said fashion ideas doesn't need to come from the runway shows. They don't have to be from glossy magazines. It's selfies. Selfies is totally in, which is what Instagram is about. But we're dedicating a platform just for fashion, which would be anything from hairstyles, nails, to shoes, even videos of makeup, how you do it. Next slide, please. Oh, did you have any question about that slide?
No.
So Fashion is basically a new home for fashion conversation. If you look at Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, you would see that there are so many posts that are around fashion. Like, people post their outfit of the day. They post pictures of how they got their nails done, what they use, the makeup products they use. But number one question is, where did you get it from? What's in Spain? Where is this located? What do I wear when I'm traveling to, for example, New Delhi? What's the trend there? What are people wearing? And another example is from the bridal industry. I got married and I couldn't figure out what people were wearing in India. I could only see high designer wear. So the conversation again begins with, where do I get this? What are real people wearing? Instagram is a source, but it's really hard to figure out exact location and exact style trend from real people. Again, you will see a lot of people who are local designers who are posting stuff. Again, you have to look for hashtags. It's not a dedicated platform for fashion. Next slide.
So you're using all these large comparables like Instagram, Pinterest, where there is a lot of fashion photography, but there are just fashion-specific sites, right?
If you look at the comparison, Instagram is everything. YouTube and Pinterest is very focused on
At that point, those particular networks are generic, but there are fashion-specific sites. There are lots of fashion-specific portals.
Sure. The two biggest competitors are Chictopia and Pose. And Chictopia has kind of tied up with American Apparel. So you would see models posting on there. You wouldn't see real people. Pose is the same way. They went after fashion bloggers. Every competitor that I've seen so far has initially started thinking that they would go after users. Maybe they did, and then later they converted into getting fashion bloggers. So they're all pretty much crowded with fashion bloggers. Even if you ask regular people if they want to post on these sites, they would not, because they think that it's very perfect. It's for perfect-looking people. And that's what I'm going against. I'm not saying no to bloggers, but I'm also saying that it's not for bloggers. It's for regular people. You don't have to look perfect. You don't have to have perfect hair to post.
Okay, so you're saying that you're basically going to have users take pictures of each other or take selfies and post to your site, and you're going to create some sort of an organizing principle for people to be able to sort through all that.
Exactly. It's also like a social motive because I went through some high school kids and college kids who were actually affected by these social networks like Tumblr and Instagram, where people are posting pretty pictures, pretty women, and you see all these Photoshop pictures, and they said, oh, we feel so intimidated that we can't, even though we look stylish or we want to have that morale of looking good, but we can't.
Got it. I got it. So what's the status right now?
So it's been only launched for a few months. I first launched it on the web, and it's in beta. Web, obviously, was just a trial run to see if the concept works, and it did. So I started working on the apps. Both the apps are done. They're going through iterations because I've had an initial idea, but our product is never complete without the product growth, growth hacking technique of getting users and developing it more. So we went through a few iterations of enhancing the product based on user groups. Growth has been over 150% so far. The retention rate is about 40 to 50%, and we're still working on it to get more users to stay. And primary, the users are from the age 13 to 25, 30-ish, I would say. And it's completely bootstrapped by me right now.
And what are the metrics? How many users do you have right now?
It's over 2,000 in the last 3 months of very little marketing efforts.
And what is the growth rate? Oh, 150% growth rate.
150%, yes.
And is there any monetization yet?
No, not yet. Eventually, my focus is it's like a catch-22 situation because you would have business users coming onto platform too, and there's regular users. I'm not charging anyone right now, but my plan is to start charging business user at some point when I have enough users on the platform for them to actually see the benefit of it.
Do you have
so for now,
to get this to a position where there is going to be enough traction?
That's actually my question in the end to you. It's a catch-22 situation because if I want to get to a number of users, I need more money to put in. I need seed capital. But again, to get seed capital, I need to show more users. So what do I do?
Yeah, you cannot get money right now. Your assumption needs to be that you're going to have to bootstrap, and which is why the monetization question comes up quickly, is that how can you, based on what you're generating, and if you're growing 150%, 150% month over month, right?
Yes.
So you need to start kind of monetizing some of this stuff. Like you may want to start working with business users and get them to promote something where they they ask their customers to upload images in their particular outfits and so forth, and pay you at least some lump sum amounts, like maybe, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000, something like that, so that you can work on projects with which to build up the community.
So don't you, that's a question I had for you, is if you go after retailers, won't they want to see a bigger community already to start using it?
If you, for example, if you go to designers, not retailers, designers, and tell them that, okay, and maybe small designers who are getting to market their stuff out there, with small designers and ask them to, sponsor, their audience to upload images wearing their stuff into your network. You can promote that in the network, so forth. Everything is going to grow. Everything is going to work better as you grow more audience. But as you go along, maybe you charge a little bit. Maybe you start charging a little bit for a small project and get them some publicity and start building up like that, so that you can start generating cash. What is your burn rate?
Right now, it's about 3,000 to 4,000.
3,000 to 4,000. So you, so you're going to need to maybe start working with some small designers and start charging them maybe, $250, $500 for projects, so that you can start covering the burn rate. And keep the burn rate steady until you, can hit a certain critical mass of adoption.
Okay.
But you're going to have to, cover costs somehow, basically.
Is there a magic number that I need to hit before I go for a seed round?
You're gonna, for consumer plays like this, the number is, in the millions, unfortunately.
Okay. Even for seed fund?
Pardon? Even
for seed fund?
Yeah, unless you have people who know you. It's these consumer concepts, no one knows whether it's going to work or not. So unless you have people who know you, they're not going to really engage.
For example, if I look at Tinder, the dating app, or Instagram or Snapchat, these guys did not have that many users before they went to seed fund. Is that because they knew people, or is that because they were seeing viral growth?
Either they're seeing some incredible levels of growth, or they know people, one or the other. I don't know the specifics of those situations, but in general, those are the thumb rules.
Okay. This is what's going on right now, for ongoing marketing.
So I think the concept is actually good, and it's doable. I think you can actually make this work, and it could be an interesting concept, but really the proof is in the pudding, and people cannot anticipate whether, and it's kind of like a, chicken and egg, right? The one thing that is true is that if you can bootstrap this to a certain level, you will be able to monetize it, because people who are, in a position to market designers can always monetize those communities. Whether you get funded or not, I don't know whether you get funded or not. But if you can really be diligent and continue to build the community and continue working with designers and promoting them and gradually building up the size of the deals that you do with them, I would really like to see you take 10 or 20 designers and start working with them closely. Maybe new designers, start working with them closely that are catering to your age group, and start charging them. Even if it's a little bit, a couple of $100, $500, just start charging them.
Okay.
And if you have 20 of those customers, you will be able to cover your costs, and as the numbers grow, you will be able to scale the sponsorship dollars that you get from them, and you will also be able to increase the number of designers, and that could give you a fine business, actually.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll get funded or not, but I know how to build this business.
Okay. Again, my last question is, can 1 million by 1 million help me, guide me through this process of what I need to do next?
Absolutely. We'll help you.
That's what I'm basically, I'm a single founder, so I'm kind of, I pay for resources to help me out, but I've hit a roadblock where I don't know what to do next.
Sure, absolutely. We'll be happy to help you, and I'm absolutely sure you can build a business out of this. If you stay with it, and if you're committed to it, I'm pretty sure we can build this.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been working for like 18 to 20 hours for the last 6 to 7 months. I've said goodbye to sleep for a very long time.
Do that, because then you will not be able to sustain. Building a business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So if you work in a sprint mode, you'll burn out and you won't be able to run the marathon.
I'll take your advice on that.
Okay, folks, that's it in terms of presentations. I'm going to take you through 1M in a moment. Let me just scan the public chat to see if there's any question that I need to address here. Please don't send me private messages, folks. This is a public chat session, so other people need to see your questions. Helene, you asked what burn rate is. Burn rate is how much money are you spending each month to support your operations. Okay, so while you guys are sorting through your questions that you want to ask, let me quickly take you through the 1M principles, how we work, and if you decide to work with us, what you can expect. I just have one request to you is that if you like what we are doing, please refer entrepreneurs to 1M1M, because we are always looking for serious entrepreneurs who are willing to do the work. You know, entrepreneurship is not like an overnight success thing. It's, you need to work, you need to commit to, you know, several years of working hard. So we are looking for entrepreneurs who are willing to do that. And everything we do is at 1mby1m.com. And as you know, our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. You'll find the blog series very helpful. It's free. You can start reading the blog. And the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, we've published 8 books already, and we're going to publish the 9th in September. This 9th book is on e-commerce, from Web 3.0, from e-commerce, niche e-commerce to Web 3.0. From e-commerce to Web 3.0 is the name of the book, and that's coming in September. And you will find everything on Kindle at this point. That's what we recommend, that you use Kindle or the Kindle app on any of the smartphones. This is what the site looks like. There are tons of video FAQs, videos that answer all your commonly asked questions. These strategy roundtables happen every Thursday morning, and we have done 220 roundtables. I think we are approaching 25,000 people, or we've crossed 25,000 people already. Maureen, you may need to update the slide. And we've coached a lot more than 1,000 entrepreneurs at this point. The roundtable, the next week, actually, we do not have a free roundtable. It's the 4th of July holiday weekend. But we do have roundtables the rest of July, most of the rest of July. We have a premium program, which is a $1,000 annual membership fee, and you can get extensive methodology guidance. We have a very strong curriculum through which we teach you all the steps of entrepreneurship. It's essentially a mini MBA that you can do at your own time and on your own schedule. The curriculum is in web self-service mode, delivered through video lectures and case studies. We also help you with business development, introductions to customers, channel partners. We help you with strategy consulting, similar discussions like this, but we're doing this in private roundtables, members only, and you have the benefit of the curriculum to go with it. So you learn the basics in the curriculum, and then we actually discuss specific issues that you're dealing with in the interactive strategy consulting sessions in a similar format like this. We also help you with financing and with getting coverage in the media. You can go to our website and meet some of the success stories and the $1 Million Club link. The ROI equation is $375,000 plus 5 to 10% equity for just a $1,000 annual membership fee, and the analysis is also on the website. The self-assessment is something that's available from our site as well. You should take yourself through that and ask yourself these questions and see how well you can answer them. There's tons of information about the premium program, what to expect from the program, video FAQs and so forth that will help you decide whether it's the right program for you. We have had over 600 entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, become part of our case study program over the last 8 years. We've been doing this case study development for 8 years, long before the 1M1M program actually came about. And some of these entrepreneurs have gone on to build billion-dollar companies. So it's incredibly powerful lessons from the trenches and guidance from very, very successful entrepreneurs that is part of the curriculum. And we have video lectures and all these case studies available in a very, very inspiring format. You will be able to learn a lot from this. We teach you 7 core topics: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. And then on the elective side, there are a bunch of different industry trends along which we do the elective modules. Web 3.0 and e-commerce is one. All the web businesses fall in that category. Cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare, IT, online education, gaming. These are the various electives. Our methodology is lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups. Even if you go on to raise money, that's fine. We don't have any problems with your raising money. In fact, one of our companies has recently raised a $31 million round, and their total financing in the company that has gone into the company in the last 3 years is $44 million. So we have nothing against financing, and we'll help you with financing, but you're going to have to navigate your way through the early stages to a level of validation that can start attracting capital. That is just the way this game is played these days. If you go to our press page, there is a link called Coverage of Premium Members. You'll get a flavor of how much coverage we do for our premium members. It's very difficult for small companies to get any coverage, and we help you get that coverage through our clout in the media, and it's just a good way to generate social proof, which you need to establish yourselves as a serious player in the market. We also let you use our social media channels, which we let you use our Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn channels, all of which are substantial. We also let you use our blog, so we publish articles about you on the blog, and we also let you publish guest columns on the blog. We have an affiliate program if you want to become a partner of the 1M1M program. We pay 10% affiliate commission. So if you're in the entrepreneurship development game and you're looking for a monetization model, you're welcome to become a partner of the 1M1M program, and we will pay $100 per conversion that you create for 1M1M. Our next few free roundtables are July 10th, 17th, and 31st, so make sure you reserve your slot to present. Vision India 2020 is another book that we've done that has $45 billion business ideas, and you're welcome to take any of these and develop them. Incubator in a Box is a program that we run with a bunch of corporations as well as other kinds of organizations through which they are setting up their own incubators or accelerators on top of our platform. So we work with a lot of corporate partners, especially a lot of corporate partners, and also some other kinds of organizations. These are some of our more recent books, and we have just a little bit of time to take questions from the audience. If you want to dial in and ask questions, feel free. And I will also take questions from the public chat, so let me see what questions are here. Ken Anderson, there's a tendency to locate where they get funding. Our sweet spot is to grow our entrepreneurial businesses, get them funded, and for them to grow themselves in our state. How does 1M1M view these issues as it relates to entrepreneurs we would enroll in the program? Ken, we are actually very supportive of local entrepreneurship development efforts, and frankly, not everybody can just pick up the pieces and go move somewhere else. So that is exactly our value proposition, is that we can help you grow businesses where they are located, even if they cannot, are not willing to, or you don't want them to, whatever are the reasons for growing where they are. Our commitment is to help you grow where you are. But you have to also accept with that there are limitations to funding infrastructures. Most parts of the world do not have mature seed funding infrastructures and ecosystems. So you're going to have to work within those constraints if you are working in an area where there is not much funding, in which case we emphasize more bootstrapping related strategies, which is fine. We are perfectly fine to help you grow your businesses, your community through bootstrapping, and where appropriate, we will be able to also help you raise financing, but it really depends on what that ecosystem is all about. Arjuman Amjad, what, according to you, is the noise in the Indian startup ecosystem? There is tons of noise in every startup ecosystem, Arjuman. I'm not sure what your question is. I don't understand your question. One of the big noise in every startup ecosystem is everybody should be running after funding, and that is a big misconception, and it's a gigantic noise. All right, Ken, that's awesome. We are very much looking forward to working with you. By the way, folks, Ken represents, Ken, why don't you tell people about but yourself and introduce yourself. Everybody, actually, whoever is in the room, please feel free to introduce yourselves. Tell one another and us where you're joining from, what you're working on. Arjuman, we work with a lot of corporations, and you know, the corporations have their specific needs, and yeah, we work with multinationals who have huge presence in India. We have tons of work going on in India. We have massive penetration in India, and lots of startups that are being sponsored by corporates into the 1M program from India. It's a very active geography for us. Anil Chauhan, working on employee engagement platform, talenttrio.com, joining from Pune. Excellent. Ken Anderson, Director of Entrepreneurial and Small Business Development for the State of Delaware. We are currently working on a partnership together with Ken Anderson on entrepreneurship development in the state of Delaware. Irina is working closely with Ken to work through the process. So folks, let me introduce you to Irina. If you have questions about the program, about the 1M program, please contact Irina Patterson, 786-301-2456, Irina at 1mby1m.com. Irina_Patterson is her Skype ID. All right, folks. Anybody else? Anand Karla, TrackZen Consulting, specialized in international tax structuring. All right. Anybody else? Any other introductions, questions, comments? Arjuman Amjad, as you had mentioned, startup accelerators do not provide value. Most startup accelerators in India do not provide any value. In fact, they provide negative value. They provide bad advice. But that is true all over the world, actually. It's not just in India also. Anybody else? Questions, comments, introductions? All right, folks, that was a very compact, rich content session. I know I've discouraged some of you from your basic assumptions. Please do not take that defensively. Listen to that feedback and try to act on it so that you can course correct from making assumptions that are unviable assumptions. Assumptions need to be validated and invalidated as quickly as possible. So don't act upon assumptions that are not going to yield in building successful businesses as much as possible. And Ken is commenting on that. He loves our approach and honesty. We really want to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I really don't want you to waste your time doing something that is not going to yield success, wasting time, wasting money, wasting energy, wasting, stamina, basically. Okay, folks, we look forward to working with you, and we will be back here on July 10th, so please make sure you book your slot and register, and we will continue with more entrepreneurs, more discussions, more strategizing, and hopefully a lot more success. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.